Acting in plays set in the medieval period. First of all, what is the medieval period? Well, the dates. 1216 to 1485 are the usual dates taken for this period. The beginning of the reign of Henry III and the end of the reign of Henry VII, before Henry VIII comes to the throne. So, let us look, please, at not only the things required in plays set in this period, but also plays that were written in this period. Now, plays set in this period, of course, are plays like Lion in Winter, a modern play. Another one, of course, is the musical, Camelot. And many of the things we're going to do today may be helpful in productions of this kind. So, first of all, please, let's look at the types of plays in this period. First of all, there was the liturgical play. That was the play that was performed in church, and it had to do with the liturgy. But we're not concerning ourselves with that today. We are looking at three other main types. First of all, folk farces, comedies, plays like Rafe Royster Doyster, marvellous comedies like Gammergurton's Needle, and of course plays such as the mumming plays, which were performed in every part of England and in many parts of Europe as well. So, folk plays. The next type of play was the morality play, a play which gave a moral message. And the best known of these is Everyman, and then there are others like The Three Estates and so on. But people were supposed to be better afterwards by having seen the play. They had learnt the moral. And the third type of play are the mystery and miracle plays, and these are probably the most popular and most commonly performed now. There's a slight confusion sometimes between mystery plays and miracle plays, and even I, at the extreme age of 117, still get these plays mixed up. So, first of all, mystery plays are about the stories in the Bible, right through from the creation to the Last Judgment, plays illustrating every story. The miracle plays are plays about the saints and the things they did, the wonders they did. So, we're today going to look at a mystery play. So those are the basic types of plays. Now, what are the requirements? The first requirement is immediacy of character. That is, you have no time to grow into your character. You are there. What the audience sees is what the audience picks up on straight away. So if you're the bad guy, we know you're the bad guy immediately, straight away. There's none of this modern covering up. It is immediate. We know exactly the sort of person you are by the way you behave, by the way you speak, straight away. The next thing is single-mindedness of character. So usually the good person remains the good person throughout the play, the bad person remains the bad person, the cynical person remains the cynical person, and so on. You stick in the same mold. The next absolute requirement is enthusiasm. The enthusiasm of the amateur. The word amateur comes from the word to love. And an amateur is someone who loves what they do. Professionals are people who get paid for what they do, but very often they don't often love it. So what we've got to do is to bring the joy of the amateur, because these were performed by amateur players. So we've got to bring this enthusiasm. And the next thing, of course, is energy. These plays cannot be done in a sort of modern, downbeat way. You've got to have so much energy behind it. I don't mean going over the top or anything like this. It's inner energy, that inner fire that every actor has to have burning within herself, himself. The next thing, of course, you have to have clarity of speech. What? Clarity of speech. The theorist is on dangerous ground when it comes to demonstration, I tell you. So you have to have clarity of speech. Every word must be understood. Remember, these plays were performed mainly out of doors. And so you had to project them clearly in the open air without anything to help you. The next thing is broad effects. So if you're going to do a gesture, it has to be big. If you're going to do a movement, it has to be big. Why? Because they were performed outside with maybe 100 people watching, 200 people watching. If you see the clowns in Ringling Brothers' Barnum and Bailey Circus, they have the same technique of bigness to get over to the vast arena. Now, it hasn't to be too big. It has to be true, but nevertheless, not something small and tiny, but don't mind being big. The next point is, of course, teamwork. All these plays, believe it or not, almost have equal numbers of lines. There is no star in the play. Even God doesn't have the star role, believe it or not. Other people have just as many lines in the plays. So it is a team, and you've got to work together as a team, rather than being primary roles, secondary roles. But the most important thing, and this is the most difficult thing for modern young actors to achieve, is playing out. Not mind looking at the audience, not mind explaining to the audience what the play's about. Playing out and not playing in. Forget the proscenium arch, it has not yet been invented. You're in the open air, you're breathing the same air as the people who are watching you. Get out and share it with them. Now, of course, the different plays do require slightly different things. The morality play, of course, that demands not just big movement and all the rest of it, but it demands much more subtlety and much more stillness. The folk farces, you can just go to town on them. And the mystery plays combine both. And that's why we've chosen a mystery play, because it combines the stillness of the liturgical and the expansiveness, rather, of the farces. So, all these things are needed. And if you remember this, energy rather than subtlety. Forget being a subtle actor. You've got to be a skilled actor, but energy rather than subtlety. And now, before we begin working on the plays themselves, let's look at some of the manners, the movement, the courtesies, and the dances of the period. The movement of a period is determined by the manners and customs of the time, the polite behavior of the time, and also it's determined by the costumes you wear. But one basic thing in all movement in period costume is never, never, never to slouch. The 2000 position, this sort of thing, never, never. Keep the ribcage lifted if you can, and wear the costumes elegantly. So let's have an exercise which will get you used to this, and this is an ideal exercise before you begin rehearsing, when you go to the side after you've finished your scene, anything to keep the ribcage lifted. Hold your hands above your head. High, high, high. Higher, please, if you will. And now, the ribcage is automatically lifted now because your arms are up. And now let's release the arms in bits. First of all, release the fingers. Release from the wrists, release from the elbows, release from the shoulders, and don't release the final part. And we go back to that position. Only 4. Ready? Hands above your head again. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, if you're playing a French medieval play, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're playing a Spanish medieval play, say it, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you very much. The important thing is to do the exercise, take your mind off it in a way. And this time, please, will you say a line as you release the hands, which is this: yes, I can, I know it, I know I can. And you have that conviction, which is essential for all actors. Ready? Make me believe it. Go.
Yes, I can, I know it, I know I can.
You need not shout. You can get conviction very quietly. I mean, I can say to you, I hate you! Or I can say, I hate you. Very often the quieter is better. Yes, I can. Ready? Go.
Yes, I can, I know it, I know I can.
So remember that exercise, keep the ribcage up. The next thing is the manners and courtesies of the time. This was a time when people did not contact each other physically. However, if a lady and gentleman were married or engaged or brother and sister or whatever, of course they'd contact each other. So let us look how those sort of people, a lord and his lady, would hold hands with their ladies. So gentlemen, will you take your lady and will you hold her hand, please? The lady is always on the right-hand side of the gentleman. Why? Because it's the place of prominence always. The left side also had the dagger there or the sword, and you have to have that clear, and the left side is always the side of the devil also. I mean, when I was small, I used to write with my left hand, and I was forced to write with my right at school by the teacher taking a rule and hitting my left hand. It hasn't really affected me. Never mind. Okay, so remember, right hand. Now, hand hold. Will you put your hand low, please, gentlemen? Will you ladies put your hand on top, and gentlemen, just clamp it. Now, how do we know all this? We know it from repeated pictures in illuminated manuscripts, paintings of the time, in which the same handhold is shown again and again and again and again. We also know it from a book, the first book of courtesy, which was called the Book of Alfred, written in the 12th century. Right, you've got your hands low down, and remember this. In no period in history has it been correct for the handhold to be higher than the shoulder. It is an immediate sign of bad breeding if you lead your lady on like this, and yet you see it time after time. Incidentally, if you ever see Les Miserables, or have seen it, you will know that the innkeeper, when he brings his wife into the wedding scene, holds her hand high. It was done purposely by the Royal Shakespeare Company, who first started that show, to give them a sense of not good breeding, not quite the right sort of people to be there. So keep it low. Thank you. It was not done to tickle the tummy unless you felt like it, Joseph. Okay, right. Where do the men put their hands? Well, men put them in the belt at the side, or put them across here on what is called the baldric, which is a band down here, which is very often highly embroidered with jewels and everything else, and it helps you to accentuate the chest. Okay, that's it. Now don't stiffen up. That's the important thing. And now, will you lead your ladies round, please, as you do that? Thank you. Hold tall, hold tall, hold tall. Well done. Thank you very much. Ladies, what about your costumes? Well, generally, if there was a long train behind, and there were many garments, you didn't just wear one or two, there were several. But the outer garment was usually long, and it was held in front and bunched up in front of you. So can you get hold of the skirt you've got? And hold it there, and this pushes your tummy out, and again you see portraits with the tummy out. This, of course, was a time when being expectant was the height of fashion. Now we try and cover it up, but then it was the height of fashion. So even if you weren't expecting, you made yourself look like you were. Okay, so you lead with the tummy. Thank you. Turn to your gentleman. Let go of his hand. Now, they're going to greet each other. How do they do it? Turn and face me again, please. First of all, the gentleman bow. There are many variations of this, but a basic bow which is useful in all plays of the period is this. Can you have your feet, please, parallel to each other? And now, will you take 1 foot back, 1.5 feet distance behind the other? Not 18 inches, but your foot length. Bend both knees. So you're like that. Bend both knees and let the weight be on the forward knee. Now, will you also swivel the spine, keep it straight, and let your head look in the eyes of the person you're bowing to? It was a safety measure, so they couldn't bring a big sledgehammer and knock you over the head. Look in the eyes. Of course, to the king, to a prince of the church, to a holy relic, your eyes would be down, but generally up. Now, if you see pictures of the Nativity, you see so often the picture of the shepherds in this position of adoration before the Christ child. Let's do it again, please. Gentlemen, come forwards. And will you now show me, please, the bow that would be right for the medieval period? Ready, go. Thank you. Look in the eye, Nicholas. Look in the eye, please, again. That's fine. Now, what do you do with the hat? If you had the hat on, take it off to the side if you can. I mean, if you've got a liripipe with all kinds of trails, don't. But take it off and just put it to the side. The other hand can be on the belt, it can be behind the back, it doesn't matter. Or you can put it over your heart like that. Will you now take the hat off? Ready? And go. That's it. Fine. And recover. Ladies, thank you. Will you come forwards? Gentlemen, retire, if you will, slightly. Ladies, curtsy. The curtsy was almost like the genuflection in church today. That is, you put one foot behind the other, you go straight down, keeping everything straight. This is vital. And according to the person you're curtsying to, the bow would be lower. It's the more important person, the lower you go. Are you ready? Try going down. Go. Sink down. Not too low. Thank you. And up you come. Now the timing of this is important, not to rush it, or else it becomes like a bob, like that. But down, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, up, 2, 3. Of course it depends on the part and the play and everything else, yes. But in practice, get used to doing it slowly. Will you do that, please? Do some work. So it's down, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, up, 2, 3. Ready? Give the instruction. Go.
Holding the skirts up?
You would be holding the skirts up here, and you could go down in that same way. You can let the skirts go if you so wish, but then you have to gather them up as you come up. It's entirely up to you. Ready? And go.
Down, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, up, 2, 3.
Thank you. The eyes of the ladies. In the book of Alfred, it says this: ladies should keep their eyes downcast to earth, about 4 roods ahead, assuming an air of meekness. And it also says about the hands. The hands should be kept close together. They should not be flapped about, nor should the lady look about busily. So don't move your head all over the place with your eyes. So will you go down again, please? Last time, will you give the lead in? Ready, go.
Down, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, up, 2.
Thank you, and now let's join that together. Will you go back with your gentleman, please? And will you bow and curtsy to your lady and your gentleman? Ready, go. That's beautiful. Well done. Thank you. Now remember the old Latin phrase, no stickus lobotomus autus. What I mean is, don't stick your behind out like that when you're going down. Straight down. Okay, I've got a big seat, I know, but don't make it ready? Down again, go. And down, 2, 3, hold it. Gentleman always comes up first. That's it. Hold your hand ready for the lady to take it. Thank you. And you lead the lady. There was a custom, actually it was very common in Elizabethan times, but it happened in this period as well, where the gentleman could take a hand and kiss it before he presented it for the lady. The lady did not then take a handkerchief out and do that before she had it. But it was a sign of affection. Ready? Try that one, gentlemen. Go. Kiss. Kiss first. That's it. Kiss, kiss. That's it. Hold. That's lovely. Fine. Well done. Another thing, it had nothing whatever to do with what we're doing, but if you sneezed, it was the custom to make the sign of the cross over the mouth. It was thought to be the devil could enter after you sneezed. So you did this, and you said, Christ help, or the other person said, Christ help. And that's where bless you comes from, that we say nowadays, from that time. Anyway, gentlemen, can you do it now, please? What we're going to do, first of all, let's see it that way round, can we? Okay? So will you two come first? What I mean is, if you be here, Nicholas, if you be there, and let's see the bow and the curtsy for the last time. Ready, go. Beautiful, up you come, and Joseph and Lauren, will you take their places, change places with them? Thank you very much. And stick your tummy out, Lauren. Thank you. Ready, go. Down. Not quite, Joseph. Take care. You adjust to the front leg. It's got to be more forward. That's it. Don't get too near to her. Looks like you're looking on top of her head to see if it's free of vermin or something. Okay, up you come. Thank you very much. Okay, well, you get the idea. Then, of course, it has to be practiced because it's got to be second nature. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is heads. Ladies, if you're wearing the steeple headdress, do not move your head too much. We have these actresses who, whenever they say a line, they always do this. They move their heads. Watch them. You've got to keep your head still. Why? Because if you do this, it's multiplied and magnified by the end of that hat, and it goes pish, 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 all over the place. Keep your heads still. Remember those points. Whenever you're walking, hand-holding, do those things. Now, what we've got to do is to get over in our plays not only these things, but the spirit of the period. And one thing more than anything else that teaches the spirit of a period is to learn a dance of a period. So if you're doing a medieval play, learn a medieval dance first, and it puts you in the right mood. So now we're going to ask some more people to come up as we learn the medieval dances. The dance of a period, as I say, reflects the spirit of a period. For instance, if you're doing a play by Noel Coward, learn the Charleston, then go into rehearsal. You'll get the feel for the lines, the feel for the action. I'm going to deal with 3 dances, different styles of dances, which could be used in production or before rehearsal to get actors into the mood of the piece. And the first one is a very early dance, a very common dance, and it is called the farandole. Now this was a carol that's spelt like carol with an es at the end, which means that the dancers sung as they danced it. It was usually danced outside, and it was a very energetic, jolly dance. So, will you get next to an energetic, jolly partner, please, ladies and gentlemen, as we get lined up for this. Thank you very much. Now, are you all happy with who you're next to?
No.
No, well, never mind. All right. Now, first of all, we sing as we dance, and Brad, will you give us the lead, and we all copy. And this is called Summer Is A-Comin' In, which is a song of the period. Ready? Go.
Summer is a-comin' in,
Summer is a-comin' in,
loud sing cuckoo,
loud sing cuckoo.
All right.
make it meet and sow it seed for summer come anew.
Repeat.
Make it meet and sow a seed for summer come anew.
Sing cuckoo,
Sing cuckoo.
Thank you very much. And now will you sing it all without Brad leading? Are you ready, please? But remember, you're singing for joy. It's festival. You're working hard all your lives. And suddenly you're given a day off and you're going to dance and enjoy it. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, go!
Summer is a-comin' in, summer is a-comin' in.
You got it, that's fine. We won't waste any more time with that. Let's now do the dance. And the dance farandole, let me do the steps first. First of all hold hands. Ladies and gentlemen. Now, sometimes you tuck your skirts into your belt and so on. There are all kinds of engravings showing this. But for the time being, we'll just have the skirts as they are. Now, it is a skipping dance. Skip, 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 and so on. And the first figure we're going to do is called the meander, in which the leader will take the dancers across and then back again, and then back again, and then back again. And if you've got lots and lots of dancers, this looks marvellous, as you have row upon row of them doing this. David, would you kindly lead the meander? And I'm going to ask you to all sing. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Summer is a-comin' in, summer is a-comin' in, loud sing cuckoo, loud sing cuckoo. Summer is a-comin' in, summer is a-comin' in, loud sing cuckoo, loud sing cuckoo.
Thank you. And now another figure, and this is called threading the needle. Would you take my hand, Julie? And what we do, all hold hands, please. We go round in a circle, again skipping, but the circle, don't let me give the lead, Julie, if you will. The circle goes smaller and smaller. Keep going, keep going, keep going. No, you're giving the lead. Keep up, if you will. That's it. And then we go this way. Get the idea? And we take the circle out again. That's it. Let your leader give the lead. Okay? Ready? Let's do that, please, as we do the snail. Ready? Same song? Go.
Summer is a-comin' in, summer is a-comin' in, loud sing cuckoo, loud sing cuckoo. Make your feet and sow a seed for summer come anew. Sing cuckoo, sing cuckoo.
And stop, go back to your original positions with David leading. Thank you very much. And now the final figure is called threading the needle. And this is what happens. Julie will take my hand again. And we go under the arms of alternate people in the line. So I don't go under there, but I go under there, and the rest of us follow. Ready? Thread the needle. 1, down, there. That's good. Well done. And around there, and we go. Keep going, Julie. That's it. That's fine. Well, let's do it with David leading. Are you ready as you sing? right? Don't twist round. Don't. That's it. Of course you've got to adapt. Ready? Threading the needle. 1, 2, 3, go.
Summer is a-comin' in, summer is a-comin' in. Loud sing cuckoo, loud sing cuckoo. Make your feet and sow the seed for summer come anew. Sing cuckoo, sing cuckoo.
And stop there. Go back to your original positions, please. And now, David, it's up to you to create your own dance by using those 3 figures. So, begin, if you will, with a meander. Then you can do a threading the needle or the snail. Go back to the meander. It's up to you. Dancing was mainly and is still mainly for enjoyment. Never forget that. It is not purgatory. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Summer is a-comin' in, summer is a-comin' in. Loud sing cuckoo, loud sing cuckoo. Make your feet and sow a seed for summer come anew. Sing cuckoo, sing cuckoo. Summer is a-comin' in, summer is a-comin' in. Loud sing cuckoo, loud sing cuckoo. Make your feet and sow a seed for summer come anew. Sing cuckoo, sing cuckoo. Summer is a-comin' in, summer is a-comin' in. Loud sing cuckoo.
All right, stop there. Thank
Loud
you very
sing cuckoo.
much. Go back, if you will, please, into your positions. Thank you very much. All right, now obviously you practice it, you go over it many times, it becomes neater, you know exactly the steps you're doing and so on. But it communicates energy, the vitality that is needed here, the love of life. Life was precious and it was valued. So please love life. Now, the next dance is slightly later, but it was common throughout Europe. And this is probably the most common of all the dances. I said the farandole was common, but this was even more used. And it was used both outside and inside. Because inside the great halls, the fire would be in the middle of the floor, the middle of the room, and so the dances were danced around it. And this is called the brale. B-R-A-N-L-E, from the French meaning to sway. So, for the brale, first of all hold hands in a circle, please. Hold hands in a circle. Now what you do here is take a skip step to your left and a skip step to your right, but the step to the left is longer than the step to the right. So we keep on doing that. So you gradually, the whole ring turns slightly to the left. Sorry, the other way with you, I beg your pardon. The whole ring turns more to the left. And it's called going widdershins, which means going the way of the devil. So let's go the way of the devil this afternoon. Ready? And up, up, da, da. A little quicker. Up, da, da, da. Rup, da, da, da. Rup, da, da, da. Rup, da, 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 da. Rup, da, da, da. And stop there. Thank you very much. And the next figure we're going to learn in this brale is what's called mocking the monks, where you would let go of hands and you would just dance around on the spot with a mock worship gesture, like these so holy monks, many of them whom were villains. So you could be very pious with your hands together, your hands raising, Lordy, 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 or whatever you wanted. Are you ready? Get round in a circle, please. And this is called scratching the head. Ready? And release hands and mock the monks. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're round, please. 8. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Heaven knows it was so difficult to be irreligious or sacrilegious or anything like this, but in this dance you could let go. So now, I'm going to ask you to put all that together. I will call monks, and that means when you do mocking the monks, I just call it from the side, but of course you would work it out yourselves. So now we're going to have music for it, and we're going to dance the brale. Will you hold hands, please? Get ready. The brale. exuberant dances which are ideal before rehearsing a folk farce or something like that, or one of the mumming plays, or one of the lively plays. Let's get on to a stately dance, which is ideal for the more serious plays. And this is a dance which came in right at the end of the medieval period, called the pavan, a very graceful dance. And for the pavan, we're going to work with 2 couples only. So if the rest of you, please, will kindly sit down. The pavan is a walking dance. It is a little more complicated than one would think. First of all, hold hands. The first step is 3 steps forward and a point of the feet. Now, a point of the feet, what we mean is you bring one foot, the toe, to the middle of the other foot, like that. So we do this. We walk a 1, a 2, a 3, and a point, and so on. Now, glide your feet along the floor. Slide them along the floor. It's a very sultry dance. It can be very erotic. For instance, if you're doing a play, Romeo and Juliet, Shakespeare, this is an ideal dance for the ball scene when Romeo first spies Juliet. Ready? And inside feet. Sorry, I beg your pardon, I didn't say that. Ready? Inside feet, begin. Go. A 1, a 2, a 3, and a point. Then you repeat that, but our space is limited. Let's go round in a circle. Ready? Hold yourself tall, please don't slop. Ready? Go. A step. Stop, please. Hands low down, please. Don't creep them up. That is wicked as a mortal sin, and you'll have to eat orange juice for the next 6 weeks. Ready? And a 1, 2, and 3, and point. 1, and don't tap it. 1, and point. Repeat the figure. 1, 2, and 3, and point. 1, and point, and 1, and point. Stop there. Next thing, where do the men put their hands? In the belt, across here on the baldric, as we said. I would suggest you don't put them behind your back. Ladies, you're holding the skirt. Will you hold it, please? Thank you. Thank you very much. And now let's add something. As the inside feet go up, turn and look at your partner. As the outside feet go up, turn and look at the other couples in the room. Ready? And. This was a processional dance, incidentally. It was danced forwards right down the hall. It was not danced in a circle. It was danced straight lines. Ready? And. 1. Hold it. Don't look at the floor, please. Let's start again. Go. A 1, a 2, a 3, and a point. A 1, and a point, and a 2, and a point. A 1, a 2, a 3, and a point. A 1, and a point, and a 2, and a point. And stop there. And when you look at your lady, smile at her. She's a delight. She's wonderful. Of all the ladies on earth, you've managed to secure this lady as your lady. So please delight in her, gentlemen, and ladies, delight in him. Are you ready? Let's do it again with an addition, ladies and gentlemen, which is this. As you walk along the floor, can you kindly dip down, dip and dip. It looks great in costume. Ready? Go. A 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4. A 1, and hello there. And 1, and who else is here? A 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a hold, and a 1, and a hold, and a 2, and a hold. You got the idea, that's fine. That's all we need at the moment. Let's now do it elbow to elbow, hand to hand, right to right. Like the Rocky Horror Show. There's nothing new under the sun, is there? Ready? Go round in a circle, go. A 1, a 2, a 3, and a point. A 1, and a point, and a 2, and a point. A 1, a 2, a 3, and a point, and a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a point. I'm not happy with the way you look at each other, you know. So as you turn towards each other, will you mutter a term of endearment? So you can say, I love you, you're the tops, anything you like. You're the Mona Lisa. Ready? Okay. Go. A step, a step, a step, and look out. A step, mutter, huh? And a step, and a point. A step, a step, a step, and a point. You're getting it? A step, and a point, and step, and point. Well, of course, you can talk in dances, but talk with your eyes as well. So we've got to believe that these are real people who enjoy dancing with each other. New step. Will you stand face to face with the palms of your hands facing each other, low down? Both of you, can you come a bit further forwards if you will, please, here? Thank you very much. That's fine. Okay. Both of you, please, step to your left. You lunge to your left, as in fencing, so your knee is bent. Okay. You then draw the other leg up to the first one. Okay. Let's do that again. Ready? This is the timing. It is 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Then you lead with your right foot and turn slightly to the left. So now you discover you're going back to back. Are you ready? And right, 2, and 3, and 4. With the left, tummy to tummy. Down, 2, and 3, and 4. Adjust your hands accordingly. 2, and 3, and 4. Stop. When I said adjust your hands accordingly, please don't have them stuck like this, but let them be lyrical. So as you pass each other, let them wave and so on. Please, if you don't do this step correctly, you suddenly discover you're dancing with somebody totally different around there. You've got to turn the right way. Ready? And step, 2, and 3, and 4. Step, turn to your left, 2, and look at each other, sweet nothings. And step, 2, adjust the hands so you don't slap her across the chest, please. 2, and 3, and 4, and side, 2, and 3, and 4. Thank you very much. Well, those are the basic steps in the pavan. But now, what we're going to do, because of course they look so strange in modern clothes like we're wearing, but in the garments of the time, these bows and these curtsies look magnificent. So now, let's see what they look like in the clothes of the time. And now, let us look at some of those moves, the bows, the curtsies, and the dance in costume. Jennifer and Brad. First, the bow and the curtsy for the medieval period. Go. Thank you. And now facing each other, same thing. And now the hand hold and the lady walking, holding her skirt high, leading with the tummy, the gentleman proudly escorting her. Ready? Off you go. And now the dance, the pavan, the dance of the period. Ready? The same steps that we've just been looking at. The pavan. Well, now let's look at putting this together into a play of the period. Well, as I said, we're going to put some of this together in a scene from a play. And the play we've chosen is Noah from the Chester Cycle of Mystery Plays. And the play of Noah was very, very popular. It's in all the cycles. And it is, of course, the story of Noah and the Ark. But first of all, you need scripts. Isn't nature wonderful? Okay. And the beginning of the scene, we somehow have to get the actors on. Now, how do you do it? There's no curtain in this period or anything else. How on earth do you get your actors on? You get them on by chanting and a procession. So the actors would probably have some sort of chant. They would process on. Processions are invaluable in this period, getting people on and off. And processions are still highly emotional and highly dramatic. So we've got a chant. Who was it? David. David had a chant. And we copy you. All right, let's just try it through, David. Ready? Go.
Pie Jesu Domine,
Pie Jesu Domine,
dona eis requiem,
dona eis requiem.
All right, thank you very much. And we repeat it as we come on. But now let's begin the whole thing. Now, what we've got to do is to build up a picture at the beginning which will appeal to the eye and inform the audience of the sort of play it's going to be. So if you think of stained glass windows in the great cathedrals, where they have pictures of various scenes from the scriptures, and these pictures tell a story. So what we're going to do is to build a group which will tell a story. It was called Picturing to the Illiterate. That is, they didn't know Latin, they didn't know what the stories were about, so they had to have some means of presenting them, some way of presenting them, which people would understand. So, this is a play about Noah. Can you just get to the side for now, please? Just come to over this side. Don't sit down or anything else. Noah, would you come center, please? Thank you. Now, Noah, will you kneel down? Because at the beginning of the play, you are praying. Thank you. And now we have all the family around him. But let's begin the play by two still groups. So first of all, we'll build a group over the other side there, and this consists of Ham, the eldest son. Ham, will you go over there? And the implement you're carrying, which is what?
the axe.
The axe, all right. Now can you stand please in some way, that's it, as if you look like a frozen picture. Thank you. And will your wife join in? Any position you like, but join in which compliments him. Any position which compliments him. That's lovely. Make sure your face can be seen, okay? And will Shem, is it next? Off we go. Second son.
He's Jack.
And Mrs. Shem.
He's Jack.
Or Japhet. I'm sorry, you're Japhet, I beg your pardon. I got my Shems mixed up with my Japhets. Never mind. All right, keep that at that side. And this side we have Mrs. Noah, who is rather fed up of this old gentleman who keeps on coming home and thinking of building boats and so on. So can we have a definite position where your arm is away from the body always if you can? That's fine. And now please can we have Shem. And you have what implement?
Hatchet.
A hatchet. Make sure it can be seen. I can't see it. That's it. Don't be in exactly the same position as your mother with your arm. Thank you very much. All right. But again, don't mask any object with your body. Hold it away from body. That's fine. And now can we have your wife looking adoringly at you? What a wonderful gentleman she's got. And what about the gossip, Mrs. Noah's friend? She's a slimy creature, but don't get too near. You're in Noah's space, so you've got to get right over here. All right. And can we have God in the middle, please? So what would happen? We would have the procession and we would go into this position. Okay? Remember it. Now let's start the dialogue, but will you please keep still? Now what we're trying to do is this, use grouping. And grouping, we think, was used a great deal in the liturgical plays, where people held still positions while other characters talked. This is the sort of thing for plays like Everyman and The Three Estates and all the others I mentioned. So let's begin the words. Ready?
I, God, that all the world hath wrought.
Just a second. Are you the most important person in the whole world?
Yes, I am.
Can you make it sound it? Not I, God. I'm not any old person, but I. Go.
I, God, that all the world hath wrought, heaven and earth, and all of naught. I see my people in deed and thought most wholly set in sin.
Well done, Randall. You're doing it beautifully. Will you remember, everybody relax a second, this is a bit awful, don't worry. In medieval verse, and if it's written in verse, please make it verse. Don't make it prose. Use the verse. It brings everything to life. There are 4 beats in the line. In Shakespeare it's different, but here 4 beats. So what are your 4 beats in the first line? God.
I got God, world wrought.
You've got to have 4.
God, all world wrought.
God, all world wrought. And you can always tell if you've got the right words to be emphasized, but if you do those words by themselves, they still make sense, as they did in the sentence you've just done. So it is God that all the world hath wrought, and so on. But it must never be a beat. It must be a pulse. It's like the blood flowing through your veins. You can't feel it until you put your hand there, but it's there all the time. So similarly with the verse, we don't notice it, but it's there. Again, please, go. Don't worry about your position, just stay there and rest.
I, God, that all the world hath wrought.
Is there a comma after God?
Yes, there is.
Use it.
I, God, that all the world hath
Is there a
wrought.
comma after God?
Yes, there
Use
is.
it. A comma is a pause.
I, God, that all the world hath wrought, heaven and earth, and all of naught. I see my people in deed and thought most wholly set in sin.
Well done. Again, you're doing very well. But now remember, everybody, if you're handling verse, you have to pay attention to punctuation. Not only for pauses, but also for inflection. Nothing is more deadly in a period play than somebody dropping at the end of every line, as I'm doing now. So this line goes like this, and the next line goes like this, and it drops and drops and drops. And before very long, your audience is dropping off to sleep as well. So whenever you meet a comma in a text, let your voice continue on the same level or have a rising inflection. It's an unfinished statement. When you have a semicolon, a minor fall, a period, a full stop, a major fall. So this would sound like, I, God, that all the world hath wrought, and so on. Okay, try it, go.
I, God, that all the world hath wrought.
So still going down on God, take care. You're saying, I, God. I, God. And what you do is you sort of lift yourself up and catch yourself on the next emphasis. Go.
I, God, that all the
All right,
world.
just a second. It's a very difficult line because it can sound as if you're cursing. I, God, you know, that sort of thing. Forgive me, but it can sound it. Ready again? Go.
I, God, God.
That's it, go on. Difficult, isn't it?
I, God, that all the world hath wrought.
Just a second, how much have you made?
All the world.
How much of the world?
All of it.
All right, can you...
All.
Give emphasis to it. It's not just a little bit, you know.
I, God, that all the world hath wrought, heaven and earth, and all of naught.
Yes, what you've done is a wonderful thing. You've created everything from...
Nothing.
Thank you. Again.
I, God, that all the world hath wrought, heaven and earth, and all of naught. I see my people in deed and thought most wholly set in sin.
Thank you.
Man that I made will I destroy, beasts and worms and birds that fly, for on earth they me annoy, the folk that are therein. Therefore Noah.
All right, now we've got several things here which come up all the time in plays, and all plays, not just of this period, that's changes. What would you say your first verse is to? Who are you saying it to? You can say the world, you can say anything you like. Go.
Well, being the medieval play, I'd say it's to everybody.
Of everybody, thank you. And what are you doing in those first 4 lines, would you say? What are you saying, in other words?
I'm in charge.
Yes, okay. And then, what are you saying in the next 4 lines?
That I'm very upset with what man has done.
And you're telling us what you're going to do, right? And then, you're going to destroy everybody, right? Except who?
Noah and his family.
Aha, right. So don't look at him until the time you say his name. Say it to the world, get it out to space, and tell all these people in the audience that unless they behave themselves, they're going to be in dead trouble. Ready? Again, go.
Therefore,
No, from the beginning. You're not getting away with that. Go on. From the beginning.
I, God, that all the world
Hold
hath
it. Let's
wrought.
get into position again, will you? Okay. So we continue it from there. Right. Small point. Don't pitch your voice high. Roll it on the floor, if you will. Think of rolling it like a bowling ball. I, God, as opposed to I, God. But you'll find you get higher and higher and higher, and you begin to strain your voice. You've got a great voice. Use it. Don't look at Noah. Look at the world. Ready? Go.
I, God, that all the world hath wrought, heaven and earth, and all of naught. I see my people in deed and thought most wholly set in sin. Man that I made will I destroy, beasts and worms and birds that fly, for on earth they me annoy, the folk that are therein. Therefore, Noah, my
Well
son...
done. Yes, that's beautiful. Relax a second, everybody. Out of all the people in the world, you've chosen him. Can you speak to him rather than declaim to him? Therefore, to him. Now he's praying, and what happens at this moment, Noah? What could happen?
Well, all of a sudden he's speaking to me.
You suddenly hear the voice in your head. Okay? Therefore, Noah. So bring your head up as well so we can see it. Right? Okay? From the beginning. Sorry. No, therefore, Noah. Pick it up from there because we keep going back. Go.
Therefore, Noah, my servant free, that righteous art as I do see, a ship to make I biddeth thee, of trees both dry and light.
I'll get the idea of the ship in your head. Suddenly the idea comes, I'm going to build a ship. Keep going.
Many rooms therein thou make, and pitch to bind it do thou take. Within and without do not thou slight, to bind it with all thy might. All destroyed.
No, that's a new thought, isn't it? Now there's the final thing. All destroyed the world. This, come on. Tell us what's going to happen. Everything's going to happen. The houses are going to come falling down. Go.
All destroyed the world shall be, save thou, thy wife, and thy sons three. And all their wives also with thee shall be saved for thy sake.
And then walk off. Noah?
Lord, I thank thee, loud and still.
Just a second. Okay, have the script in your hand, and I would say read it up. Quickly. That's it. Look up. All right, go. Lord, go. You're well done. We see
Lord.
Noah's face, a beautiful face of an old gentleman. Go. Keep still. You're doing a fine job there.
Lord, I thank thee, loud and still, that shows to me such great goodwill, and spareth me and mine to kill, as now I truly find.
Small point there. Whenever you meet alliteration in any text, use it. Great, good, use it. Go back to that line.
Lord, I thank thee, loud and still, that shows to me such great goodwill, and spareth me and mine to kill, as now I truly find. Thy bidding, Lord, I shall fulfill, and ever work thy holy will, that with such grace will save me from ill, me, among all mankind.
And that's when the group breaks and you suddenly come to life. And what we see is all the noise, all the arguments, everything of everyday life, as the family members squabble amongst each other, and Noah has to get them together as a team to build the ark somehow. Okay, so break it again, please, and we have the break. Ready? And
Me, among all mankind.
I'm better than you.
But keep going, that's fine.
Have done, you men and women all.
Hold it. Now, you are rivals, right? Ham and Shem? You are actually rivals.
Yes.
Thank you. So can you be one at one side if you want the other, rather than both the same side? Thank you. That's it. Don't be rivals yet. Just be at the side. Be at the side, Maud, so you're not too prominent. Have done, and you quieten your family down. Go.
Have done, you men and women all. Hasten, ere this flood befall.
Okay, just a sec. Now listen to him, please. Have done, you men and women all. Why is he stopping us? And then he tells you, right? And what would your action be? Maybe you will, maybe you won't. I don't know. Go ahead. Have done again, please.
Have done, you men and women all. Hasten, ere this flood befall. to build a ship, chamber, and hall, as God doth bid us so.
Father, I am all ready now.
Thank you, and his name's Ham, and we use the word ham, don't we, for ham actors. So he was the original ham actor. So will you make him big and broad and muscly and everything else? Father, you're the real tough guy, you're macho, go.
Father, I am all ready now, an axe I have here, by my crown as sharp as any in all this town, for to go thereto.
And it will only work if you react. The people at the back, they also serve who only stand and wait. Please, look at him. Some of you approve of it, some of you don't. Where's your wife? Oh, she thinks he's the tops. Right. Thank you. He comes home every Friday with the front door round his head. Yes, come on. Again.
Father, I am all ready now, an axe I have here, by my crown as sharp as any in all this town, for to go thereto.
And then the second son, who was always arguing with him, go.
I have a hatchet, sharp and keen, to bite full well, as may be seen. A better ground one there has not been, no, not in all this town.
All right, now, alas, our time is coming to an end, so we can't continue with it. But this is a play that contains the sacred element at the beginning, and it happens later in the play as well. It's broad comedy, especially when Mrs. Noah gets chased around the audience and everything else. And it's a wonderful play full of so many elements. We haven't had the handholds in this or anything like that, but that is used maybe later in the play when you all leave the ark. Let us just try the whole thing from the very beginning, where you start chanting, and will you come in from down there, if you will, please. Ready? Chant and go into it. Ready? And chant. Go.
Ie Jesu Domine,
Ie Jesu Domine,
dona eis requiem,
dona eis requiem.
Ie Jesu Domine,
Ie Jesu Domine,
dona eis requiem,
dona eis requiem.
I, God, that all the world hath wrought, heaven and earth, and all of naught, I see my people in deed and thought most wholly set in sin. Man that I made will I destroy, beasts and worms and birds that fly, for on earth they me annoy, the folk that are therein. Therefore, Noah, my servant free, that righteous art as I do see, a ship to make I biddeth thee, of trees both dry and light. Many rooms therein thou make, and pitch to bind it do thou take. Within and without do not thou slake, to bind it with all thy might. All destroyed the world shall be, save thou, thy wife, and thy sons 3, and all their wives also with thee shall be saved for thy sake.
Lord, I thank thee, loud and still, that shows to me such great goodwill, and spareth me and mine to kill, as now I truly find. Thy bidding, Lord, I shall fulfill, and ever work thy holy will, that with such grace will save me from ill, me among all mankind. We all know that I'm
No, you're not. No, you're not.
We all know that Have done, you men and women all! Hasten ere this flood befall, to build a ship, chamber, and hall, as God doth bid us so.
Father, I am all ready now. An axe I have here, by my crown as sharp as any in this town, for to go thereto.
I have a hatchet, sharp and keen, to bite full well as may be seen. A better ground one there has not been, no, not in all this town.
Put your hatchet down, put your axe down, and you go for each other, fighting, and let's separate them, separate them. Stop. Thank you very much. And Noah speaks again, doesn't he? Or does he? Okay, right. Okay, and stop there. Just come and stand there, if you will, please. Well, alas, we haven't any more time to do the play, but it's a wonderful play, as are all these mystery plays. Each of them can still compel an audience to this day. What did I say right at the beginning? Energy, single-mindedness of character, obvious characters immediately. We know Noah's the good man. We know that he's the tough guy, the ham, and so on. We know that Mrs. Noah is the nagging wife, etc. All these things. And what have we learnt in this bit? 4 beats in the line. Don't drop at commas. Use your commas. Let your voice be like a bird in flight. When it meets a comma, it lands on a twig and goes off. When it meets a semicolon, it lands on a branch and goes off. And when it meets a period, it lands on the ground. Don't let your voice go boom, boom, boom. The medieval period is an exciting period, full of wonderful literature, full of wonderful music. So if you're playing in a play of this period, soak yourself in the period. Listen, look at material from the period, listen to music of the period, read poetry of the period. You can never know too much. Thank you all very much indeed for your work. Thank you. That's it. Well done.